Welcome to Let Me Fix This. Enjoy the video.
In this video, I will explain how to make a grid-based game. First, let's set up the foundation. You'll want to define your grid's dimensions, perhaps a 10 by 10 or 20 by 20 layout, and represent it using a two-dimensional array in C#. Each element in this array will correspond to a grid cell. Then, you'll instantiate visual game objects for each cell, carefully converting grid coordinates to world positions. Remember to keep your scene tidy by parenting all these grid cells under a single empty game object. Now, let's get our player moving around the grid. You'll need to capture player input, like arrow keys or mouse clicks, and translate that into changes in their grid coordinates. When a player moves, update their visual position smoothly to the new grid cell. For interactions, consider using raycasting from the camera to detect which grid cell the player has clicked on. Always validate movement to prevent players from going off-grid or into blocked areas, enhancing the game's integrity. With movement in place, it's time to build the core game logic. This involves defining how various game pieces interact on the grid, perhaps a unit attacking another or collecting an item. You'll manage different game states like player turn or enemy turn to control the flow. For AI, implementing a pathfinding algorithm, such as A*, will allow enemies to navigate intelligently. Each grid cell can also store important data, like whether it's walkable or contains a specific item. Finally, let's refine the visuals and optimize performance. Apply distinct textures and materials to your grid cells to make different terrain types or interactive elements visually clear. For better performance, especially with large grids, implement object pooling for frequently created elements like enemies or projectiles. Add engaging visual feedback, such as subtle animations or particle effects, when players interact with the grid or perform actions. During development, a simple grid overlay or debug lines can be incredibly helpful for visualizing your grid structure.
Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe.